Good evening, friends. We continue our reading of First Kings. We are getting really close to the end. We'll see this might be a little bit of a longer section than we normally do because, well, we might just very well just go ahead and complete First Kings. We'll see where we are when we hit 8 minutes on the timer and how much is left. But I suspect there's a really good chance this will be the last of the First Kings videos. Thank you for joining us as we read together this evening from First Kings, as we read through the Bible together. So let's start as we always do by taking a look at the big picture here. And as I always say, remember this big picture is of First and Second Kings, because First and Second Kings were originally just the book of the Kings. Well, really, the book of the Kings and the Prophets. We are here in this section that bridges the gap between the end of First Kings and the beginning of chapter 2, of book 2, Second Kings. First Kings chapter 17 through Second Kings chapter 8, the stories of Elijah and Elisha. We are very much in this story of Elijah, which will flow over into Second Kings. Elisha is part of the story now, too. Elisha is Elijah's associate at this point. So it is their story in common, Elijah and Elisha, that we are reading presently, and how this plays a part in the unfolding of the reign of King Ahab in the northern kingdom of Israel. I'll be reading from the left-hand column, which is the complete Jewish Bible. The right-hand column has the text from the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition. So we've got a Jewish Bible and a Christian Bible side by side on the screen, which is good because Jewish biblical language doesn't always match up with our Christian biblical language. And so sometimes we'll need to pause to remember what exactly is this thing that sounds foreign to us, and how do we know this? What do we know this by? We are resuming our reading at verse 35, and instead of doing a timer, I'm going to do a stopwatch tonight, because when we hit the 8-minute mark and get to a breaking point after the 8-minute mark, we'll do a real quick scan to see, is it worth doing another section beyond this, or should we just close it off? There's 22 chapters. We're not far off from the end of chapter 20. So this might just be a little longer. Verse 35, let's scroll down to verse 35 to where we are resuming tonight. One of the members of the Prophets Guild said to another one, by the word of Adonai, remember that's the general reference to God without using the sacred name. By the word of Adonai, hit me. But the man refused to hit him. Then he said to him, because you didn't listen to the voice of Adonai, the moment you leave me, a lion will kill you. No sooner had he left him than a lion found him and killed him. The prophet went to another man and said, hit me. The man struck him a blow and wounded him. The prophet left and waited for the king by the road, disguising himself with a bandage over his eyes. As the king passed by, he called out to the king and said, "Your servant was on his way into the thick of the fighting when someone brought a man to me and said, 'Guard this man. If he is missing, you will pay for his life with yours, or else you will pay 66 pounds of silver.' But while your servant was busy with one thing and another, he disappeared." The king of Israel said to him, "So that is your sentence. You have pronounced it on yourself." Quickly he removed the bandage from his eyes, and the king of Israel recognized him as one of the prophets. Then he said to the king, "Here is what Adonai says. Because you have let escape the man I had given over to be destroyed, you will pay with your life for his life, and with your people for his people." The king of Israel returned home to Shamron, Samaria, resentful and depressed. A while later, an incident occurred involving Naboth, the Yisraeli, Naboth the Jezreelite. He owned a vineyard in Jezreel, right next to the palace of Ahab, king of Shamron, Samaria. Ahab spoke to Naboth and said, "Give me your vineyard so that I can have it as my vegetable garden, because it's close to my palace. In exchange, I will give you a better vineyard, or if you prefer, I will give you its monetary value." But Naboth said to Ahab, "Adonai forbid that I should give you my ancestral heritage." Ahab went home resentful and depressed at what Naboth the Israeli had said to him, since he had said, "I won't give you my ancestral heritage." He lay down on his bed, turned his face away, and refused to eat. Jezebel, his wife, went and said to him, "Why are you so depressed that you refuse to eat?" He answered her, "Because I spoke to Naboth the Israeli and said to him, 'Sell me your vineyard for money, or else, if you prefer, I will give you another vineyard for it.' But he answered, 'I won't give you my vineyard.' 'Are you the king of Israel or not?' asked his wife Isabel. 'Get up, eat some food, and cheer up. I will give you the vineyard of Naboth the Israeli.' So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal and sent the letters to the leaders and notables of the city where Naboth lived. In the letters she wrote, 'Proclaim a fast and give Naboth the seat of honor among the people. Have two good-for-nothing men sit opposite him and have them accuse him publicly of cursing God and the king. Then take him outside and stone him to death.' The leaders and notables of the city he lived in did as Isabel had written in the letters she sent to them. They proclaimed a fast and gave Naboth the seat of honor among the people. The two good-for-nothing men came in and sat opposite him, and these scoundrels publicly accused Naboth, saying, 'Naboth cursed God and the king.' So they took him outside the city and stoned him to death. Then sent a message to Isabel, 'Naboth has been stoned to death.' When Isabel heard that Naboth had been stoned to death, she said to Ahab, 'Get up and take possession of the vineyard that Naboth the Israeli refused to sell you, because Naboth is no longer alive. He is dead.' When Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, he set out to go down to the vineyard of Navat the Israeli to take possession of it. But the word of Adonai came to Elijah, from Tishbe, the Tishbite. Get up, go down to meet Achav, king of Israel, who lives in Shamron. Right now he is in the vineyard of Navat. He has gone down there to take possession of it. This is what you are to say to him. Here is what Adonai says. You have committed murder, and now you are stealing the victim's property. Also say to him, here is what Adonai says. In the very place where dogs licked up the blood of Navat, dogs will lick up your blood, yours. Achav said to Eliyahu, my enemy, you've found me. He answered, yes, I have found you, because you have given yourself over to do what is evil from Adonai's perspective. Here, says Adonai, I am bringing disaster on you. I will sweep you away completely. I will cut off from Achav every male, whether a slave or free, in Israel. I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for provoking my anger and leading Israel into sin. Adonai also said this about Isabel. The dogs will eat Isabel by the wall around Israel. If someone from the line of Achav dies in the country, the dogs will eat him. If he dies in the countryside, the vultures will eat him. Truly, there was never anyone like Achav. Stirred up by his wife Isabel, he gave himself over to do what is evil from Adonai's perspective. His behavior in following idols was grossly abominable. He did everything the Emori had done, the Amorites, whom Adonai expelled ahead of the people of Israel. Let's take a quick peek here and see what we have left here. So we're at verse 27. There are 3 verses left here in chapter 22. Okay. Chapter 22 is a little bit longer. So yes, we are going to pause there. And next time that we pick up First Kings, it will be as a conclusion, as in tomorrow morning we will conclude. Resuming at chapter 21, verse 27. Thank you, friends, for reading with us. A blessed evening to you all.